What would you do if your family became trapped in the wilderness, with no food, no rescue, and winter closing in around you? In 1846, 87 pioneers set out for California chasing the American dream. Only months later, they would find themselves stranded in the snow-covered Sierra Nevada mountains. Many would never leave. Some would make choices so desperate that their story would become one of the most controversial episodes in American history. But hidden beneath the legend lies a deeper mystery. Were the Donner Party victims of bad luck? Or did one disastrous decision doom them from the very beginning? Before we dive deeply, kindly subscribe to my page, follow, like, and share for more hidden history, untold stories, and fascinating historical mysteries. The year was 1846. Across the United States, thousands of settlers dreamed of a new life in the West. California represented opportunity, fertile land, economic freedom, a chance to start over. Among those heading west were the families of George Donner and James Reed. Like countless others, they planned to travel the Oregon-California Trail. The route was long but well established. Many emigrants had already completed the journey. But this expedition would become different from all the others. The disaster began with a promise. A man named Lansford Hastings promoted a new route to California. It was advertised as a shortcut. Shorter, faster, better. The route became known as Hastings Cutoff. Many travelers believed it could save valuable time. But there was a problem. Hastings himself had little practical experience leading large wagon trains through the terrain. Despite warnings from experienced travelers, portions of the Donner Party chose the shortcut. It was a decision that would change history. Some historians have made a startling claim. The Donner Party may never have become stranded had they ignored Hastings' advice. The shortcut did not save time. Instead, it cost precious weeks. Weeks that would later prove fatal. The claim raises a haunting question. Was the tragedy unavoidable? Or was it the result of one catastrophic miscalculation? The shortcut quickly became a nightmare. Wagons struggled through rough terrain. Roads had to be created from scratch. Progress slowed dramatically. Then came the crossing of the Great Salt Lake Desert. Water disappeared. Animals weakened. Supplies dwindled. Heat became unbearable. Families watched their resources vanish. When they finally emerged, they had lost valuable time and energy. Winter was drawing closer. As the wagon train moved westward, every day mattered. Experienced travelers knew that crossing the Sierra Nevada before winter was essential. The mountains could become deadly once snow arrived. But delays continued. Broken equipment, exhausted livestock, internal disagreements. The journey became slower and slower. The pioneers were racing against nature. And nature was winning. In late October, the emigrants approached the mountains. Then disaster struck. Heavy snow began falling. Passes became blocked. Trails disappeared. Temperatures plunged. Within days, escape became nearly impossible. The Donner Party was trapped. Many believed the storms would pass. They did not. Instead, winter tightened its grip. Historical records provide a clear picture of the conditions. The winter of 1846 to 1847 was severe. Food supplies became critically low. Livestock died. Shelters were crude. Rescue was impossible for months. Diaries and survivor accounts reveal growing desperation. Starvation became inevitable. This is not speculation. It is documented history. As food disappeared, deaths began. The weak succumbed first. Children cried from hunger. Parents faced impossible choices. Every passing day reduced hope. The camps became places of fear and uncertainty. No one knew whether rescue would arrive before everyone died. Eventually, a group attempted the impossible. 17 individuals set out on foot through deep snow. Their mission was simple: reach civilization, bring back help. The journey became one of the most harrowing survival ordeals in American history. Snowstorms battered them. Food vanished. Exhaustion overwhelmed them. Some never completed the journey. Yet others pushed forward. Their actions would ultimately help save lives. Now we arrive at the most controversial chapter. As starvation intensified, Some survivors consumed the bodies of those who had already died. The subject remains difficult and emotional. Yet historians generally agree that this occurred among some members of the trapped groups. Importantly, evidence does not support many of the exaggerated stories that later emerged. The reality was tragic enough without embellishment. This was not a tale of monsters. It was a story of human beings confronting unimaginable circumstances. One hidden fact often overlooked is how many acts of courage occurred during the disaster. Mothers sacrificed for children. Family members shared food. Individuals risked their lives seeking rescue. The popular image focuses on horror. The historical record reveals resilience. The Donner Party story is also a story of survival. When news finally reached California settlements, rescue parties were organized. The journey back into the mountains was dangerous. Several rescue expeditions fought snow, cold, and exhaustion. One by one, survivors were evacuated. Some children survived. Some parents did not. Families were separated forever. The tragedy left emotional scars that lasted lifetimes. Here's the twist. The Donner Party did not become famous solely because of what happened in the mountains. It became famous because it symbolized something larger. The dangers of westward expansion. The risks of misinformation. The consequences of overconfidence. The story became a warning passed down through generations. A reminder that a single decision can alter countless lives. Today, the Donner Party remains one of America's most studied historical tragedies. Documentaries, academic research, archaeological investigations. The story continues to fascinate because it forces us to ask difficult questions. How far would people go to survive? What would we do under similar circumstances? And how much of history is shaped by chance? Despite extensive research, debates continue. Could the tragedy have been prevented? Would an earlier departure have changed everything? How much responsibility belongs to Hastings? Were some survivor accounts altered by memory and trauma? Historians still discuss these questions today. The complete story may never be known. In the frozen silence of the Sierra Nevada, the snow eventually melted. The trails reopened. Life moved on. But the questions remained buried beneath the mountains. 87 people began the journey. Only some reached California. And nearly 2 centuries later, one haunting mystery still lingers. If the Donner Party had ignored the shortcut, would their story have become just another successful journey west? Or was tragedy waiting for them no matter which path they chose? The answer remains lost somewhere along the trail that became one of the most infamous journeys in American history. Please don't forget to subscribe to my page, follow, like, and share for more hidden history, untold stories, and fascinating historical mysteries.